Good day, everyone. Welcome to Total Football with Sports Sada. Today, I have Shakti Chaturvedi with me, a great friend of mine, and he's going to be our expert on the panel today. Shakti, how has been the Euros till now?
Euros, well, it's been delayed by a year, so I was eagerly looking forward to it. And thus far, at least in the dramatic quotient, it's lived up to my expectations and frankly exceeded them in ways we all did not expect. So it's been a fun tournament this time round, and given that even now very few teams are actually clear to the round of 16, makes it an even more interesting one to follow. So there's no clear-cut results as of now, apart from a few teams. So really looking forward to the next set.
Absolutely, man. Just as you said, a few surprising results in the play during the Euros. Some teams like maybe Belgium and Italy performing as expected from them, though a few hiccups, in the formation or in the concern. So, let's move on to yesterday's matches. We had some really good matches yesterday. For example, Ukraine versus Macedonia was the first one. Ukraine coming out 2-1 winners over there. So, what were your thoughts on that game, Shakti?
Yeah, it was a pretty entertaining game. I felt that Ukraine basically dominated the first half. I mean, North Macedonia not having even a whiff of goal. But the game really became entertaining after North Macedonia got their goal in. They were chasing the game. It was a pretty interesting dynamic to follow. Kind of worked like France versus Germany, where Germany was following the entire game after that own goal. So it was a fun game, and Yarmolenko entirely living up to his name. So that was an absolutely fun game to watch. And surprisingly, North Macedonia have done far better than I expected them to do, because this is their first major appearance in a major international tournament. So props to them. They have really turned up. I did not personally expect them to do so well. So it's been an absolutely fantastic thing to watch.
And expected of the Euros, no team can be ruled out. Macedonia is just proving it, and a fairly young nation in themselves.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Moving on to the next game, Denmark versus Belgium. Everyone expected Belgium to be runaway winners, with the dynamics of the Denmark's last game. But kudos to Denmark, taking an early lead through Christian Poulsen.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised at the ferocity with which Denmark started the last game. I mean, for the first half an hour or so, Belgium was strictly on the back foot. I mean, after Yussuf Poulsen scored, they were simply going at it in waves after waves after waves. And to be fair, Denmark must be the unluckiest team I've seen in any Euros thus far. And I've been following all Euro tournaments since 2000. So I don't know. The previous game felt a bit too harsh on them. I mean, we all know what happened with Eriksen. So to see them turn up in such a big way against Belgium at the start was fantastic. But it was a question of it's a matter of when. And we all knew that the Belgian quality had to shine through at some point. Kevin De Bruyne was massive and got them the result we expected. But a part of us really felt for Denmark and wanted to see them maybe get a point out of this game. So it was a very fun game. I mean, it was at the start it was Denmark dominating, but you knew that Belgium would claw their way back into this somehow, and they did, as you would expect. It was a great watch.
As you said, it was just a matter of when, and that when probably was the introduction of Kevin De Bruyne. He stepped up with the goal and assist. And of course, all of us wanted, Denmark to get something out of this. It's going to be a really tough call for them, if they are to qualify, even if via the third place, position.
Yeah.
But if they can come up with the goods like they did in the first half of the last match, I think maybe they have an outside chance for this.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we still have our prayers for Christian Eriksen. Hope he gets well soon. Great to hear that he's been doing well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, moving on to the last game, of yesterday, Netherlands turning up 2-0 winners for, against Austria and progressing into the round of 16. So, that kind of leaves Ukraine and Austria to battle it out for second position. Both are at 3 points with a zero goal difference, but, Ukraine with the little advantage with the number of goals scored in second. So the next match between those
Yes.
two is going to be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, Ukraine have not just turned up; they're here to say that we are serious contenders and we want a long run. I mean, they really made Netherlands struggle to win their first game. It was probably one of the best games of the tournament. So that's an absolutely cracking fixture. I'm totally looking forward. It will be absolutely interesting to see what happens.
True. And if you look at the Dutch, Memphis Depay converting yet another penalty for them, and Dumfries
Yeah.
again scoring another important goal for them. So,
Yes.
a lot of
Yes. Yes.
expectations from the Dutch national team as well.
Yeah, yeah. And the Dutch national team have really improved in the last few years. They had a pretty decent showing also in the UEFA Nations League. So the expectations are from them that they're carrying this form through, and let's see how far it goes. They're an exciting side to watch, definitely. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really looking
so
forward.
that's it for a recap of yesterday's matches, and looking forward to today. There are three very interesting matches, and the first of which is going to be Sweden versus Slovakia. Yeah, so looking at these two teams, in the last matches, Sweden with a really hard-fought win, not win, sorry, draw against Spain.
Draw.
86 possession with Spain in that match, yet Sweden managed to keep them out and take a draw and a point away from them. And if you see Slovakia, a surprise win over Poland, who was expected to win. And
Yes.
if you see the last five matches for both the teams, undefeated. So, top teams in this fixture. What are your thoughts, Shakti?
Yeah, I was actually quite. I expected Spain to roll over Sweden, quite frankly, with the quality they have. But the Swedes put in such a dogged defense performance. I mean, Victor Lindelof was massive in the last game, and they got what they wanted. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sweden weren't expecting to win unless something truly extraordinary happened in the game. So they got a point out of that game. So that will bolster their confidence. At the same time, Slovakia have started very well. So you have two extremely confident, unbeaten teams going into this fixture. Wonderful. What better can you ask for? With a lot to play for, this is something to really look at.
True. And if you look at the head-to-head competition between these two, the history isn't very long because Slovakia being a fairly young nation again, head-to-head they've had five matches with three wins going for Sweden and two draws amongst the two. So people say there's a little bit of advantage for Sweden, but what is your call looking at the form that these two are in?
It's a bit tough to say because I'll say this that in the Sweden Spain game, Sweden did not get to express themselves as much in attack as they would have wanted because Spain has a style of playing. They keep the
Yeah.
possession, they'll not let you get too many on the counter even because they're very good at holding the ball. So Sweden haven't got a chance to express themselves in attack. Slovakia, on the other hand, got a great opportunity to express themselves in attack, and they made full use of it in the last game. So we are basically going to see a side whose attacking prowess we already know. Slovakia has done well in the last game versus Sweden, who would be definitely looking to prove a point that you've seen us dogged in defense. We've also got some serious attack and some serious talent in our team.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
uh, it's actually hard to take a call because had we seen Sweden attacking in the last game, we would have been able to say, okay, defense-wise, Sweden has an edge because they've held off the Spanish team, and attack-wise, Slovakia looks good. But unless we see Sweden out in the attack, it's actually hard to call this.
Right. Actually, speaking of Sweden, they have a young, exciting prospect in their ranks. Isaac Hayes, young Isaac, Alexander Isaac.
Yes,
So, what are
absolutely.
your thoughts about him?
Alexander Isak is wanted by everyone and is touted as one of the biggest prospects to come out of Sweden in frankly quite a long while. They've had star players, but the hype around him reminds me a bit of Zlatan when Zlatan was trying to burst onto the scene. Isaac is wanted by Liverpool, by Man United. I've not heard a single set of fans say we don't want Isaac in our team, and there's a bidding war already going on for him. The previous match, again, he did not get a lot of a chance to express himself, but that might definitely change in today's game because I feel it will be a far more open game than the last one Sweden had.
And speaking of Isaac, he's going to be up against Skriniar, coming on the back of his title
Yes.
win with Inter. So, what are your thoughts on him? He's going to be the one trying to stop Isaac.
I mean, when it comes to Slovakia, Skriniar is probably the most known player, and he was massive in the last game. And I believe it's a very interesting battle to look forward to. Uh, we'll see what happens. It's really hard to take a call on this right now, but
True.
it's wonderful. You have a seasoned campaigner in Skriniar versus a young prospect in Isaac.
Yeah.
Who would be willing to say that, I'm here to stamp my authority on this game versus Skriniar saying, I'm a seasoned campaigner at this. So that will be very interesting.
Yeah. And speaking about, clashes, we have two very important clashes. The first one will be Michael Burris versus, Victor Lindelof. So the Slovakian attacker trying to, get past the Swedish wall. So what are your thoughts on this battle?
As I've just mentioned before, Lindelof was massive in the previous game. He was key to stopping Spain and rightfully was the man of the match. And Burris came on rather late in the previous game. He came on as a substitute, so it'll be interesting to see how this proceeds. But given the history and experience Lindelof has, I believe Lindelof has a slight edge in this department. But it's the Euros. You can never say what's gonna happen on a particular day. So
Absolutely. And another interesting battle will be Marcus Berg versus Dubravka.
Dubravka was brilliant for Newcastle, still with them. Marcus Berg, anything goes. It will be a very interesting battle to look at this one as well.
So, going into this picture, the Slovakians are on their best unbeaten run. But what do you think? What is going to be the end result of this match? What are your predictions, Shakti?
Oh, you're putting me in a huge spot of bother here. It's hard to take a call on this, but I'll give a slight edge to the Swedes because, sure, Slovakia has come on the back of an impressive win, frankly, very impressive win. But Swedes would feel that we've stopped Spain, we definitely got our chances versus Slovakia. We did not get to express ourselves, we've got a chance to express ourselves now. So I'm giving a slight edge to Sweden, but it could also be a draw. Slovakia could try to play the whole Swedish game, which they did versus the Spaniards, because they've gotten the important 3 points and they know that 4 points kind of guarantees them a good third spot also, which could also see them further in the tournament. So they could do that.
Okay, Shakti, you have to give us a score, man. It is like
Okay, so the fan in me wants a 2-1 to Sweden in a good open attacking game. But I believe Slovakia would try to get a 0-0 or a 1-1. They are definitely looking for just a point here. But if you're asking for my take, very begrudgingly, I would still say 2-1 Sweden in this game.
so, Shakti with his prediction of 2-1 towards Sweden. And moving on to our next match, it's Croatia versus the Czech Republic. So Shakti over here, two interesting teams. Croatia with a narrow loss to England in the previous fixture, while the Czech Republic with a win against the Scots. So, uh, what are your thoughts on this fixture?
So, you know what? the loss to England might not be such a bad thing for Croatia. I mean, there's already first, England. Sorry, England is probably the youngest and most exciting team in the group, and even their fans are talking about, if we finish second, we might get better opponents in the upcoming stages. So Croatia
Yeah,
might not be feeling so hard done, but Czech Republic is already being touted as a dark horse by many people who are saying that they might actually progress quite a lot ahead in the tournament. So it will be an interesting game to see. You have lots of experience on one side in the Croats versus the
yeah,
relatively inexperienced Czech. So this should be an interesting encounter to look for.
true, true, absolutely. And if you look at that head to head, not many matches played between them. Just three games, I believe, and Croatia winning one of them and drawing two. So advantage to the Croats over here, but let's see how that plays out in the long term. But if you see, okay, the battles that will be played out between this match, a very important battle in midfield, which will probably get the end result in the game, Modric versus Suchek. So, what do you think about these two players, and how will they impact the game?
I mean, Modric, Suchek need no introduction. The football world is extremely familiar with both. Modric being the midfield generally has been for quite a long while now. So, uh, if you're asking my take, Modric kind of has an edge in this department, but ever so slightly. I mean, age is not on his side, but definitely experience is on his side over here. So, this will be a very interesting battle to do.
Absolutely, and I think that little bit of experience is going to go a long way in this tournament.
Yes, yes, yes.
Experience will play a big role. Suchek, though, on the other hand, does have some goal scoring exploits in this Premier League campaign. So a little
Yes.
bit on his side, they're going to expect him to go in the box to box and probably attack. And if you look at another battle, Kufal, Suchek's West Ham teammate, will come up against Perisic. So again, another battle that's going to be very interesting on the right flank for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I mean, again, with Croatia, experience is the key term. I mean, Ivan Perisic is tested, proven, and has done tremendously well at both club level and international level. So, definitely, this is also a very interesting battle to look forward to. And as you said, an experience can take you a long way, especially in international tournaments like these. So Perisic
So
again has the advantage of experience, but you really can't tell what will happen. Whereas Kufal is also proven commodity in the game, so it'll be a very interesting battle.
absolutely. So Perisic, as we all know, experienced player in the game, and Kufal coming in into the Premier League this year and proving himself with a lot of assists, defensively very sound as well. So an
Yes.
interesting battle to watch out for over there. And if you see the Bayern legend Ivica Olic has been called up as the assistant coach. So for the Croats, do you think that is going to be something of an advantage for them? Him bringing in his experience.
I believe so because Ivica Olic was very much key to them getting into Euros in the first place. And he's a proven winner with multiple clubs across Bundesliga and also a Croat legend himself. He actually left the job of CSK Moscow to come and help the team out as an assistant in this game
Absolutely.
for the Euros because see the Croats have a lot of experience but their side is aged so they are not as quick on their heels. So the extra touch provided with the insights Alic can give, that's what they want from him. They want those extra
True.
insights which can take them further in that.
Absolutely. And as you said, the Croat in him was a motivating factor for him. Leaving his job as a manager and probably coming in as an assistant might look like a step down,
Yes,
but the nationality is, the pride in him has got him here, and he would be,
absolutely.
looking forward to him taking the team to the end of the tournament and probably winning it.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. And Ole
So
is just very well versed with long-term tournaments and all. He's had
yeah,
great success, so he'll be a definite asset.
absolutely. So Shakti, again, I'm going to put you in a tough spot. What's your call on this match?
Okay, so the Croats were a bit lackluster in the previous game, but I do expect them to turn up much strongly for this one. The key is how they contain the relatively young Czech squad, who did well in attack, I feel, in the previous game. So I'm gonna give it 1-0 to Croatia. I mean, barest of margins. I might be wrong, and Croatia wind up the clock and become World Cup 2018 Croatia, opening opponents left, right, and center. But they, I feel, do not have the dynamics of pace on their side as much as they had in World Cup 2018. So I'll give it to Croatia because I'm pretty sure, as I said, they will be happy to finish second in this group because that would mean avoiding either of France, Portugal, or Germany, which definitely improves your chances in the tournament. So yeah, I expect them to turn up big time in this game.
That's great, Shakti. So 1-0 for the Croats by Shakti. And moving on to our last and final game for the day, it's England versus Scotland. Yes, it's actually one of the oldest rivalries in football history. England versus Scotland. If you look at their head-to-head, England have won 48 of their matches to Scotland's 41, and an amazing 25 draws between them. So, what are your thoughts on this legendary game that's going to be there today?
I mean, as far as national rivalry goes in football, very few older than England versus Scotland. But the surprising fact is, on the big international stage, they've actually not met each other quite often. In fact, the last major meeting they had was Euro 96, something which I'm sure Gareth Southgate has mixed memories of. He was involved in the 2-0 victory, which included the famous goal by Paul Gascoigne. Uh,
Absolutely.
on whose hairstyle Phil Foden has modeled his own hairstyle for this tournament. So
Yes, yes.
big expectations from the game, and by the English media, it's been hyped up like anything, as the English media tend to do for the English national team. So if we get something of the level of a Gaza goal again in this game, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely, man. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch a goal like that? A lot of youngsters wouldn't have watched that, and watching the highlights, they would want to see something similar in this match. And surprisingly for England, their last victory was the first victory in the opening fixture in the Euros history. So in a way, good. Yes, they did win, but as you said, it puts them in a perilous spot. Facing one of the top three in the next group.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you finish top, you face either of France, Portugal, or Germany. That's not a very attractive prospect for a lot of teams. But I feel the English team, they feel confident. They feel that on their day they can beat anyone. They have a young, exciting team who already has seasoned campaigners. If you take a look at it, you have Harry Kane, you've got Phil Foden, you've got Sterling. So I don't think Gareth Southgate particularly is feeling the way many English fans are. He believes that the team has the ability to take on anyone. So he's fairly confident in the squad, and that bodes well for them. Actually.
Absolutely. And speaking of experience, while experience is what you spoke about in one side, a very young, rather not young, but a very inexperienced person on the international field, Calvin Phillips,
Yes.
actually performed admirably in the last match and probably was their man of the match. What are your thoughts on him as a player?
I mean, we all expected the regular people to do well for England, your Harry Kane, Sterling, etc. Calvin Phillips had the best game. He was the standout player in the last game. Total attacking threat, like totally dominating whenever he got a chance to play. And so much so that they're calling him Yorkshire Pele, and fans have already given him names across in England. So, yeah, he was an absolute surprise package in the game, and he's a definite starter for sure in this game.
Absolutely. And speaking of definite starters, two players who missed out the last game, Ben Chilwell and Jadon Sancho. I mean, wouldn't like if Sancho is available, would you expect him to start?
I would expect him to start, but given the way Gareth Southgate chooses his teams, uh, I think he'll play over Sancho because Sancho is still pretty young, and in international tournaments, it's a whole different ball game. Something Sterling is already exposed to. I would like to see more of Sancho. Anyone would. I mean, he's a young, electrifying player, but I personally feel that Southgate will still prefer, Sterling over Sancho. I would love to see him start, but knowing Southgate, I don't think he is going to start. He'll come off the bench.
Absolutely. And they usually are accustomed to seeing Sterling on the left wing for England, but an interesting concept that we have heard of as well is that Southgate will probably move him to the right to try and calm down the attacking threat of Andy Robertson, and that is going to be an interesting battle as well if it does happen.
Yes. I mean, Andy Robertson, proven with Liverpool, we all know he's probably amongst the best wing backs there is. And Sterling, seasonal winner, also won with Manchester City yet again. So it'll be a very interesting battle. Both ex-Liverpool players as well. Well, Robertson is still a Liverpool player. Sterling is a ex-Liverpool player. Have faced each other many times in the English Premier League, so they know both of they each knows the other inside out practically at this point. It will be a very interesting battle to see. But Sterling on the right is something you do not expect. I mean, he's traditionally
Exactly.
always been left. So yeah,
Yeah, but a lot of them were saying that instead of having Foden with his inexperience on, the right, that they will move Sterling to the right to try and calm the attacking threat of Robertson. But Sterling anyways floats in between and switches lane from time to time, so that will be an interesting battle.
yes,
And coming back to your statements of experience and the expectations from Kane. Okay, do you think Kane is untouchable in this team? Because if you see his performances over the last 10 matches, he's had only two goal contributions, and
yeah.
you think he probably should give a chance to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Gareth Southgate. What are your thoughts on that?
Sorry. Knowing Gareth Southgate, I think he'll still start with Kane. The thing is, Kane might have a dry run like he is having, as you mentioned, two goals in the last 10 international fixtures for England. But the fact is, Kane is such a player. On his day, nobody can be more destructive than him. So, Gareth Southgate is going to go with a no prisoners policy. He is definitely going to start Kane. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he had an excellent Premier League last season, amongst the top scorers. Uh, in an ideal setup, in a merit-driven world, he would have definitely gotten a chance. But I don't think Southgate is gonna risk it. Plus, we know Kane can turn up any day and absolutely demolish the opposition, be it by scoring or by assisting. I mean, he provides a lot of assists also. So that's a huge advantage you get with him compared to say a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, he's Kane is a Kane is definitely gonna start. I'll be surprised if DCL starts.
And surprisingly, a few years ago, Harry Kane was on set piece duty, even on corners. Everyone was surprised, and why is he taking the corners? So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has everything in him, but you want him to be
yeah.
attacking the ball and trying to score the goal. But so Shakti, for the final game, what is your prediction? England versus Scotland.
Okay, so this I'm definitely gonna give to England compared to the previous two games where it was a near call for me. Giving a slight edge to Croatia, slight edge to Sweden. Over here, England definitely have the advantage compared to Scotland. I expect them to win by 2 goals or more. I'm going with 2-0 to England. Uh, a literal repeat of Euro 96. Maybe we get to see a goal like Gaza's, or maybe even better. That's what my expectation from the game is.
So let's see. Hopefully, Phil Foden's hairdo inspires him to have a Gaza
Oh
goal or
yes,
better.
oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I love that. I love that.
So 2-0 win to England by Shakti, our expert. It has been great talking to you, Shakti. Thank you for all your insights. This has been Total Football
Pleasure.
with Sports Data. Hope to see a few brilliant matches today. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye.